Hey everybody, this is Blair from Jazz Fans Against Racism, and I've been following the news about a recent social media post about the American flag being a racist symbol. This was a post that was written by Lex Scott, who heads up the Black Lives Matter Utah chapter. And I've met Lex a handful of times, and I'm really grateful for all of the activism and the work that she does for Black Lives Matter Utah. And there's a lot that she does that doesn't get seen and doesn't get talked about. And her recent Facebook post got talked about a lot, got a lot of reach. And so I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, and I don't really have time to sit down and write everything out or to make a fancy video, and this is kind of off the cuff, so forgive me, but I do think it's important to speak to it for a minute. So one thing that I've heard from people who reach out to me are that they're concerned that this was really divisive and unfair. Because in her post, Lex spoke really categorically. She talked about the flag being a racist symbol. She said the people that use the American flag are racist. Full stop. There weren't any qualifications to that. And a lot of people objected to that. They think that that's unfair. Some people reached out and said, when they see a black person protesting in more violent ways, that it would be wrong to say that all black people do that. And they would say in the same way it's wrong to say that all white people or all people that use the flag are racist because racists use the flag, right? So they're making a logical argument. They're analyzing Lex's post logically and seeing if it makes logical sense. The claim is just because some racist people use the flag proudly, that means all people who use the flag are racist. Well, that doesn't make logical sense, right? That would be logically unfair. I mean, there are a lot of people of color who fly the flag or look to the flag as a symbol of a country that they're in some ways proud of, in some ways disappointed by. So it's more complicated than what Lex's post was getting at. But what people need to remember is Lex was not making a logical argument. I think this is really important. She was not making a logical argument because this isn't a logical problem. This is an emotional issue. I do marketing for my job, and so I think a lot about messaging and branding. And this is a branding issue. It's an emotional issue. It is not a logical issue. So if you read her words, she wrote about what the flag has come to mean to her through interactions that she has with people, right? When she sees white supremacists marching, they're holding American flags. When she gets hate messages on Facebook, a lot of these profiles have American flag borders or, the American flags all over their Facebook wall. And so she's getting all these messages and seeing all these people employing the flag who are just unabashedly racist and white supremacists. And because of all that, the American flag has come to trigger a fear in her. It's come to be associated with white supremacy. And the branding of the flag has shifted to that for her. And so, yes, it would be wrong, logically, to say that anyone who uses the flag is being racist or is sending racist signals. Like, obviously that doesn't follow. But emotionally, she's talking about how she feels when she sees that flag and what that flag has come to mean for her. And it's not pretty, and it's not good. And the other point that she makes is that when white supremacists are using this flag, we're not seeing a lot of pushback. We're not seeing a lot of outcry about that. Shouldn't we be really bothered and concerned by the fact that the Ku Klux Klan would wield the American flag? Shouldn't we be bothered that white supremacists are marching in Philadelphia over the past month carrying the flag? Shouldn't white people notice that and object? Where are people who revere the flag when that desecration happens? Because it is a desecration. It's taking that flag and using it for hateful purposes. And what Lex is not seeing is a lot of objection to that. And so, if I understand her correctly, that's what her post is really getting at. So, yes, it's the comparison between seeing some black people committing acts of vandalism during protests and not attributing that to all black people, versus seeing white supremacists use the flag and not attributing that to all white people. Logically, that stands. But Lex is talking about survival and fear. She's not making a logical argument. And it would be wrong for white people to assume that all black people are dangerous simply because they see some violent protests or something. But again, this isn't about logic. This is about feeling. So I don't, people say, well, we need to let Lex know that, that there are people that use the flag that aren't racist. Okay, I don't think Lex is the one that needs to be lectured about this. I think it's more necessary that white people like myself and others would object to white supremacists using the flag and making a big deal out of that. That's where we can direct some energy and some focus, rather than the uproar that we saw in response to Lex's post. We didn't see that kind of uproar in response to white supremacists using the flag. And again, this is not a logical argument we're making. This is about emotion. A lot of white supremacists are confidently using the flag to represent their white supremacy, but we would rather be upset if a black person feels profoundly alienated from the flag to the point where she feels like anytime she sees it that it's connected to a racist person, that it's become a racist symbol to her. She said herself, I feel fear. She updated in a new Facebook post about this. She said, look, when I see that flag, I feel fear. And that's not up for debate. This is an emotional thing. It's a branding thing. It's what it evokes in her. We should be listening to that. Isn't that's horrible? That's what the flag has become to a lot of people. It's not just her. When she looks at that flag and feels that fear, she feels like the person that's flying it's racist because all of these other people that are proudly flying the flag are being racist. And again, we're not seeing objections when neo-Nazis are marching with the flag. Why? If we really love that American flag, where's the objection to people using it for incredibly hateful purposes? But we're going to get angry if a black person says the flag's racist. Think about that for a second. From a messaging standpoint, I think that her passion can be misused. It can be misunderstood. People can take it too literally, take it in a lot, try to say that she's making this logical argument when she's not. She's being provocational. And, if as a person who's trying to be an ally to black, indigenous people of color in general, I'm not always going to agree or feel comfortable with the messaging or the ideas or whatever that every person has, including Lex. That's not a bad thing. I think that my allyship and my dedication to anti-racism doesn't hinge on whether or not Lex does everything that I like and says stuff that I think works. And I hope it would be the same for you. If we really want to believe that the flag really is a symbol of love and independence and like patriotism, then we should be defending it from white supremacists, not from Lex Scott. Because there's a reason why the flag evokes that fear in her and in other people, and why people have a bad taste in their mouth when they see it. And it's because that flag is proudly waved over some horrible things that are happening in this country. So anyway, keep this in mind next time someone's arguing with you about it. This is not a logical conversation. This is about emotion, and this is about feelings, about how people feel when they see that flag. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for watching the video, and I'm sorry that I didn't have time to like make something short and cool. I just don't have time. All right. We'll see you next time. If you have any questions or suggestions or feedback or ideas, my direct messages are always open. You can check out our stuff at antiracistjazz.com. We're still selling clothes and things to raise money for the Utah Black History Museum, so check that stuff out at antiracistjazz.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, in addition to Instagram. And all right, we'll talk to you guys later.